Hi everyone, Warangel here, and welcome back to the Mousillon campaign for Mortal Empires. Now last episode we saw the pressure start to build against us, as we now have to deal with both the Barrow Legion and Reichland. And I will admit, I got a little salty last time because the game didn't tell me that those two factions declared war on us. But it's okay, I've gone past that, and I'm going to do something much better for the soul, which is to kill all my enemies. Anyway, let's get started with today, where the most immediate threat that comes to mind is actually the Barrow Legion, because we've got 3 full stacks down here in Baston. However, saying that, if I remember right, let me click on one of them a minute. Yeah. They're all pretty crappy in terms of their units. I mean, they're experienced, yes. But in terms of the actual type of unit they are, I mean, zombies, skeleton warriors, they're nothing really for me to worry about. So these guys, we can probably deal with them with the Red Duke easily enough. Now, not only have we got these to deal with, we've also got the Council from Albion. Although, luckily for me, it seems that the corruption we've got and the attrition they've been suffering has helped out quite a bit. Not so much with Dual Durak here, but he has only recently arrived. So, yeah, the longer they stay in my territory, the weaker they become, so that's fine by me. Now, the last thing we may have to worry about is Reichland, because we did see during the last end turn phase that we lost Ubersreich thanks to a surprise attack. Now, I don't know what we may be facing here. We know Commander Bernhardt is leading it from the Grudgebringers, but the only way that the Empire can come and attack us, if they're going to attack Bretonnia, is to go through Knight's Pass, which we have got fairly fortified, and we have proven on several occasions that we can hold the walls. So hopefully we will continue to do that. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But for now though, let's try and kill off some Barrow Legion. So let's grab the Red Duke. Can we make it? No, we can't. Is it worth force marching him? We could march him and get him right up close to them. But the problem is then is that they may attack us, and while our army is superior, we also have to worry a little bit about them swarming us. You know what? Let's risk it. We'll put you... What's going to be the best position? Maybe here? Or maybe even... Let's move you over here. That way then, we're close enough that... Well, we can go after them anyway, and we might even be able to corner Morrigan to stop her from running down this way if she does. We'll have to see how that works out. But that's you moved anyway. Now Malabads, what to do with you? Now we did try to attack this army here, but it retreated away. Now can you attack us in the following turn? You can, but that's easy enough to deal with. You might come in and reinforce though. I don't know, do you think we can take both of them on at the same time? I'm not too sure. I'll tell you what, let's be safe and pull you back. We can use Force March to get out to their marching range, and if we wanted to head to Corian, yeah, we'd have to go that way anyway. So we'll head that way with you. Now, let's see, Aiden, you've already moved over to there. Nicolette. Okay, so you've finished recruiting. So what do I want to try and get next? We could try and get some more Graveguard, we could try and get some more Knights or something like that. Although, we could get her up to Langril. Not only would it allow us to be able to protect the settlement more easier if they attack us, but we'll also be able to take advantage of the facilities in Corian to be able to get units like the Wailing Hags and things like that. So, yeah, let's force march you up here. Get her up into position. Alright, is there anyone else? Oh yeah, William. Let's move Anards down here first of all. Vendrick, I should say. Right, what we could do, because we're only one blood kiss away from unlocking the next bloodline power for the Fallen Knight, which gives us, if I remember right, something like... Let me double check. It's, yeah, 20% casualty replenishment. So if we can kill off one of these guys, that would be useful. So that's 67. What about you? 66. Ah, it's only a percentage difference. Let's give it a go. Failure. Damn it. Okay. Never mind. What I'll do then is I'll let William lay siege to it for one more turn, because if we have a look, Banspar is about 50-50, and we have built siege equipment. Now the thing is, we can probably win this battle if I auto-resolve it, but I kind of want to fight it, just so I can check out some of these new units. Like, I haven't seen in the campaign yet, units like the Harvlin Hotpots here, or what are these guys? Bowman Militia, Press Gang Thieves, Master Cooks. Some of these would be quite interesting to see, so I would like to try and attack it myself, although I reckon with the fact they've got loads and loads of militia, we should be able to take them on easily enough. We'll leave it for another turn, because the other thing as well then is that while we have 2 heroes nearby, this will give us an opportunity to try and get that blood kiss we need in the following turn. So yeah, we'll leave you for now, and I think that's everybody. Oh no, Eustache. In fact, is there anybody near here we can try and do? Nope. No. What about you? No. Right. What I'll do then is let's move you down here. Because we know there's one with Morrigan's army, and we know there's one with one of the Necromancer ones. I did see it, did I? Yeah, here he is. Right. So we'll be here to send Eustache after him, and then I think that should be everything this turn. We haven't really got anything to upgrade or anything like that. Although, actually, something we could do is recruit some more heroes, because... Oh, actually, game, remind me, which character allows you to block armies? Oh, I can't tell because she's in an army. Okay, Aiden assault units. That's not useful. Don't know. You're the same. Ah, block army. So we need a Banshee, right. Can we recruit any Banshees in the area over here? Because if we can slow down some of these enemy armies, that would be quite useful, wouldn't it? Vikings, not quite what we need. What do we need? A Spirit Well. Okay. In fact, let's use some of my money. We'll come back to that. We'll save it for now. What about Artois? No, probably not that. Lyonesse? No, we can get vampires, but we can't get them. What about Langril? Ah, here we are. Actually, Banshee. Right, so we got Leon Ecornet, an aggressive character. Manon Ecornet, must be siblings, a tactician. Or Fleur Beastspitter, who's determined. Ugh, God, none of these are really that good. But we're only going to be using them for campaign agents, so let's just get you. Right. We'll give you block army for an extra %, and we'll increase your success chance. There we go. Alright, who next? Mina. I could give you Immortal Will, allowing you to regenerate a bit. But I think... no, we'll go grab your aspect of the Dread Knight. The ability to cause fear and terror might come in handy. Malabad... no, we were waiting for you to get to level 10 so we can upgrade all your personal skills, so we'll leave you for that. Feindrick, we will give you, I don't know, increased mobility, I guess? Right, that should be everything. Let's hit enter. Okay, so, Langril has now come under siege by Duat Durak. I have to be honest, it wasn't exactly unexpected, but at least we've got Nicolette's army nearby, ready to help repel any attackers if needed. So we got that, got Ambusher, raiding, right. Okay, let's have a look. If I get Nicolette to normal stance. Otherwise, well, if they do attack, her entire force will be tired for no reason. Well, let's attack. That bounce bar isn't actually too bad, is it? I'd rather secure it if possible with Malabad's force, plus to give him extra experience. So let's actually grab Malabad a minute, and let's have a look. We could actually attack that army right away. I'll tell you what we're gonna do. Can we set up an ambush anywhere around here? It's 45, 45, 45. I'm looking for a reasonable percentage. 45, 45, 70. Okay, so the woods give me 70, 45. Okay, not all the woods, but around here, right. 28. If we go, say, 45, just need 70. 28. 45. Anything closer? 32%. We'll take that. What I'm thinking is, if we set up an ambush, either A, it's going to be successful and it means we can attack the, well, Dual's force with both armies, or B, they will get spotted and then we can either fight them anyway with Malabad, or they'll just stand there and let us attack them anyway. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with that. So that's you done. You, to be honest, they don't have any characters, do they? No. Okay, we'll take, excuse me, Leora. Let's get you marching down towards here. Ideally, we want to try and block off some of the armies if possible. So you can go and do that for me. Nicolette, you're fine there. Amand, you're fine there. Veindrick, let's try and get you to assassinate now. When the game lets me, of course. God, sometimes it's so fidgety trying to get the right there. Okay. 52. And 53. Let's try 53. Success. Right. That's given me the blood kiss I need. So let's go and activate that now for the 20% casualty replenishment. Very, very cool. Now that we've killed that hero, we can either wait 2 turns in order for us to, you know, overcome our exhaustion and then attack, or we can just attack them now. In fact, let's just do that. Attack! So yeah, Banspar is even more my favour because the enemy is starting to take attrition. This should be a pretty straightforward fight though, so hopefully we'll get it done with quickly. Let's just see how it goes. Do you suppose William thinks to himself sometimes, how on earth did I get into this? I mean, here he is, a Bretonnian lord, fallen from grace, and yet somehow he's ended up now leading an army of the dead, with an undead knight riding beside him. A vampiress that apparently in the last episode means the two of them are going to get shipped now, and a necromancer. Do you ever wonder how he gets into this situation? I bet he does. Anyway, guys, welcome to the battle outside the Moot, where things definitely look much greener in today's episode. Oh, nice to see that. I really am. The rain might not be the best, but there again, I'm from Britain, and it happens a lot here. Anyway, as you can see, I'm bringing in the entire army, marching for all the different breaches that the enemy have got in their walls. Now, you may remember I did build some siege equipment, and while I've decided not to use most of them, you can see on the side here, I'm already sending 2 of them off. There was 2 reasons for this. One, because I wasn't sure if there was going to be any enemy units on this section of the wall using the tower, so I figured I'll send some troops up there. And 2, I've built them, I thought I might as well use them, so that's what I'm doing. So we've got 2 units of Graveguard or Grey Weapons making their way to this section of the wall. We've got the Pendulum being thrown across there by Marguerite, although I will point out that the walls make spells like that very, very weird, because originally the spell was supposed to go across the Dryad unit, yet you can see from the magical marks on the floor that it didn't quite go that way. No matter, I think we managed to get a little bit of damage to this unit here, but one of those things. Anyway, the army's getting closer now. We've now noticed this unit of press-ganged thieves, using a rather unusual formation to try and get the 2 of them to block off the entrance. Not that it really matters when you consider that the Grey Men are about to charge through. And here we have another use of the spell, where, again, it goes across the units of thieves, hits the Dryads, and then bounces off completely and goes in a different direction. But anyway, over here now is where our main, attack seems to be going through. We've got the Grey Men coming through. We've also got excuse me, I'm trying to get past the fog. Bernhoff and Marguerite have decided to push through. Although Marguerite's job is to actually try and get up on the walls here to go after the Bowman Militia. But we also got William somewhere in the crowd. Oh, there he is, right here. So this is going on over here. Over on this breach, we've got my Graveguard trying to make their way through. Getting a little bit stuck on the wall, but what can you do? Now, one of them is going to go and attack this battle in the rear, and the other one's going to climb up on the walls. So we'll leave them to that. Over on this side then, we've got some Crypticals going after the press-ganged thieves. Another unit has made their way over to here to go after the Bowman Militia. And as I was chasing them down, you may notice the tree man in the distance is slowly making his way over to try and attack him. But because I end up sending them back and then to attack this unit of thieves in the rear, we don't have to worry about that. Although that actually reminds me of something I wanted to show off to you guys. So let me slow this down for convenience sake. Now I must admit, first of all, that tree man's a very cool colour for the... Excuse me, trying to get the decent camera angle here, guys. Thank you. But yeah, he looks very cool, but this is what I wanted to show off. Is the Halfling hot pot. It looks a little different from the tabletop, but I love the fact that you can see them with the hot pots here. And when they fire, it does have that proper effect as if they're throwing a stew right at the enemy. You know, that does look cool, I must say. Whee! Anyway, while that's going on, over here then we've got the Grave Guard that have taken quite a few casualties. Because once they made it on the wall, I forgot all about them, so they end up getting shot at a bit by the enemy's bowmen. But they've now charged in to attack the Cockerel Riders aboard the Mortar's engine to give a hand, and just as they've broken, I've brought in all my knights. So the damn Knights of the Realm are going to be going after, well, this unit over here, and mainly to push their way up the front here though to go after the hot pots. So that's what they're going to be doing. Over on this side, we've now broken the unit of thieves that were holding the entrance. So what I'm doing is making sure we go after the tree man next. So we've sent... Oh my god, that sent the Varghul flying then. Did you see that? Anyway, the Varghul is going after it with the men-at-arms with polearms helping out. So that's going to keep him busy. And everyone else is basically going to try and tidy up this part of the battle. I mean, you can see up here that the Graveguard as well as Marguerite have done a decent job going after the Bowman Militia up here. But the trouble here is that the enemy are heavily outnumbered, heavily surrounded, and yet they're still holding on for dear life. We've got some Master Cooks fighting on their way, we've got some Dryads somewhere over here and some Wardens. But even though they're surrounded by monsters, by Graveguard and things like that, they're still hanging on in there. You can actually see the Master Chefs right here. Oh, that's a bit of a chaotic mess, isn't it? But anyway, at this point though, thanks to all the casualties we inflicted, it was enough to cause the army to shatter, and Einenschatten now belongs to us. So now we need to decide what we're going to do with the settlement, and I'll talk about that back on the campaign map. So there we go, decisive victory, and now we have to decide the fate of the Moot. Now I've actually given it a little bit of thought, because, well, oh, picked up the amulet. That's cool. Bit of extra damage resistance for 22 seconds, I'll take that. But yeah, I've given it a bit of thought, actually, and I've decided I'm not going to take it. The reason being is because it's a very low value province. It's only got the one region, which is Einenschatten, and it only has a minor settlement, so you can only build up to level 3 and have those bonuses. Now in previous campaigns I've done, maybe due to the mods I was using at the time, but the Moot did used to have a landmark building, which did have some use, but this one doesn't. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and sack it. And then next turn, I might burn it down to the ground afterwards. I suppose, if I wanted to try and get even more money out of it, we could attack it again, occupy it, and then just abandon it after we sell off all the buildings. That could work. Okay.
My reputation precedes me.
Well, go ahead and occupy it. Now, the advantage of doing this as well is that it allows me to replenish, and look how much we are replenishing right now, thanks to our bonuses. I mean, 56 up to 120 in one turn. That's ridiculous. But anyway, let's go ahead. I mean, that gives me 2%, that's fine. We'll disband it just for a couple extra bits of cash, and then we can just abandon it then in the following turn. 23 income. Oh, we're not going to get that much then. Oh well, at least we got the replenishment, eh? So that's that done. Now, what I'm tempted to do with William, once he's replenished, is maybe actually send him over to attack Reichland from the east. Because, depending on where the other armies are, we could potentially go for Grunberg, or even march all the way up to Altdorf. The only thing is, how much territory do they have?
Welcome in my court.
6. Right. Where are those 6 then? Because, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, where are the other 2 regions? I don't see anything nearby that suggests that they have joined with them. Wastelands? No, that would belong to Marion, but oh no, it's actually been raised, right. Yeah, I have no idea where else they might own. The Wargrove of Woe? Oh, hang on, what's this? Ah, here it is. They've managed to confederate the seams of Austenmark. Right. Okay, fair enough. Maybe we can send an army up there to deal with those territories. I mean, it's nearby at least. We can just go up here. Who's got Mordheim? Talabekland. Right. If we can take Nagenhof and Bakaven, yeah, that could work out. Okay, so we'll take William's army back over there. We'll weaken them that way. So you can do that. Eustache, let's just have you go and attack this hero. I'm not even going to bother looking at the stats when it comes to Eustache, because he's always going to have at least 90-95%. So there we go, a successful assassination. Okay, next, Duke. Right. Let's put you back to normal stance a minute. And now let's have a look. I think we're just outside of range of practically everybody. Yeah, it's one of the reasons I think it's a good idea we've got that Banshee now. Because even if we can slow them down a little bit, it will allow us to catch up with them. Now the other thing we could try and do... We could take the opportunity to head down towards Montfort. Just so we're in a position in case there is a big attack from Whiteland. Or we can even head up and take Blackstone Post, first of all. I mean, it does leave the armies running around, but a lot of my places are quite fortified and they are crappy units. So it could be worth the risk. Especially if I spend some extra cash, like here for example, upgrading the City Watch. Mousillon should be more than fine by itself. Yeah, let's see about doing something like that now. So we're going to be trespassing through Marienburg's territory yet again. But that's okay, we can go up and attack Blackstone Post then. Then we can sweep on by, take Carrick-Ziflin, head down to Montfort, and then that will force the Barrow Legion to actually attack us, because they will be suffering attrition otherwise. So yeah, that could potentially work. I tell you what, can you go after any of the heroes? You haven't got one. You do. What's my chances? 68%. Success. Another blood kiss? I don't know which one we want to go for next now. We could go for Lamia. Give me a reduced upkeep, is it? No, extra vigor reduction. Extra ambush success or research rate. I'm tempted to go for Strigoi. Like I said, I would like to try and get an army from each of the bloodlines. So we would, I mean, while we can recruit Strigoi Ghoul Kings right away, I don't know if getting them through the bloodline will actually give us ones with unique traits or unique skills. I suppose we'll find out. Anybody, that should be everybody now. Alright, yes, okay. Let's have a look. Malabad, we'll skip over you for one more turn. Margaret, let's give you replenish troops. And we could go for smoke and mirrors. Unless we want to either reduce enemy leadership or armor, added area of effect, or we can reduce melee attack. Let's go for the Feebling Foe, that could be useful. Aldrich the Mads could give him a nightmare just to keep him away from enemies, but I'd rather save up for us to get one of these instead. So let's give you instead the Gaze on a Gash, that could be useful. Never know when just blasting someone from range with a spell could come in handy. We'll give that into Soul Weaver. Eustache, I really don't know what to give him at this point. I guess I'll give you Bitter and Betrayed. We can work on your personal skills at least. Aiden, let's give you, I don't know. Curse of Undeath, I guess? Okay, you've moved. Settlement upgrade. We can upgrade Artois. We'll go ahead and do that. Because then we'll, oh no, we've got one more level before we can get the Unholy Field Trebuchet. Right. Damaged buildings, I'm not that fussed. Commandments. I don't know. Anything of use? Not really. Just leave it then. Unassigned post, William. I'll tell you what, actually, let's give you basic training. I would like to work my way down to Lightning Strike, but I still think it'd be good for him to work on his combat skills, because he has taken some damage in combat so far. Let's give you more health, that will help out a bit. There we go. Oh. This could be interesting. Crap. Okay, I didn't expect them to come in with Volkmar and 2 full stacks. Oh, this could be a tough fight. Right, okay, what do they actually have? They got Volkmar. They got a bunch of missile troops, Free Company Militia, Outriders, Demigryphs, Empire Knights, more Demigryphs, War Wagons, Hellstorm, oh god. Loads of crossbows, right. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think we can fight this battle in terms of winning. But, saying that, it will be worth fighting the battle, so we can make sure we try and kill as many of them as possible. Now luckily for us, the Red Duke is going to be nearby, so we might have to take a slight detour from Blackstone Post to come down here and actually go after the survivors. But yeah, it might be worth fighting this battle. You know what? Let's do it. Well then guys, here we are at Knight's Pass, where we're going to be in for probably our toughest battle yet. Now, we see one of the 2 armies coming at us in front of the walls right now, and this is the one led by Volkmar the Grim, who you can actually see in the distance here, riding the, oh god, what is it called? Oh, it's going to bug me. It's his mount, basically. I can't remember what it's called now, damn it. Anyway, he's riding that at the moment, and you can see the entire army is making their way towards us, with the reinforcements actually coming in behind there. Now, to make things a bit easier for you, in terms of what I've done for my strategy, I've basically put a number of my graveguard along the walls, enough that we made sure that all the 4 towers belong to us. I've also then, I'll tell you what, it'll be easier just to show you on here. So yeah, I've got a unit behind each of them, and I've also put my peasant bowmen on this section of the wall here. I've put as many as I can for the graveguard down here on the floor, just in case the enemy mortars, or eventually the Hellstorm rocket batteries, start firing. In that case, the wall can provide some deep protection to them. It's not going to provide as much for the people on the wall, which is why, when possible, I've tried to hide them behind the towers, because I'd rather the towers take the damage rather than my infantry. So that's what we've got going on along a lot of this. So we've got, 2 units down here, others here and there. Now what I've done as well is I've put my trebuchet unit here, with the amount of peasant bowmen just here for convenience sake, and all of my black knights here. Because while I was setting up, I came upon a plan, which, if it works, will work great. If it doesn't, it's going to leave us with a lot of trouble. So, what I wanted to do first of all is let the enemy come to us. But what I was focusing in particular is going after the dangerous units. Like you can see over here, for example, not so much the Outriders, they're getting shot at by my bowmen, but over here, with the Demigryph Knights, I've got the trebuchet as well as all my towers firing their ammunition onto them. So I want to kill off these guys as quickly as I can, and I want to do the same then for the unit of knights, which happen to be around here somewhere. Ah, there they are. Perfect. Now luckily for me, during the battle, the enemy's mortars were firing on the gatehouse, so while I was causing obvious damage, it meant that it wasn't going after my infantry, and to be honest with you, the mortars are not really designed for smashing down fortifications, so luckily it's not doing a lot of damage, which is fine, because the longer we can hold the gatehouse, the better. Now you can see at this point though that the enemy have decided to bring all of their infantry over to this section of the wall, so upon realizing that and the fact the ladders are coming up, I'm starting to move more of my graveguard that I've kept down on the ground, just to try and hold them up here. Now bearing in mind, we're going to be fighting a lot of infantry in this fight, but luckily for me, by climbing up the walls, it's going to really tire out the enemy infantry, which is going to make things easier for us. So this is what's going to happen for quite some time. We're going to have my bowmen firing away at whatever unit they can focus their fire on. The towers and that are all going after particular units. You can see the demigryphs here have been practically wiped down now, with only 3 of them left. And I believe at this moment now, our next target is going after the Empire's Knights. Now, I wonder if you guys can figure out what I'm trying to do in this battle, but if not, you can keep watching and see what happens. Now at this point, the enemy's reinforcements are slowly making their way onto the battlefield. Now something I wasn't prepared for was the absolute range that the Hellstorm rocket batteries have. I mean, I have used them myself, but it's been a while. So yeah, I didn't expect them to be firing all the way from back here. I thought they were going to get a bit closer. But it's okay, it's fine. Like you said, over here you can actually see a good example of what I was trying to do with the 4 towers. So they're firing on this unit, but between their poor accuracy and the fact the tower is here blocking off some of the shots, it's really helping out. And to make things a bit better, I've also decided to move the unit to in a similar position to this graveguard, just to try and give them a bit more protection, because, well, if it hits the wall, it's not going to hit my troops. Now if we continue along here, basically you can see the enemies, well, fighting away. My graveguard are doing a fantastic job of going up against the enemy forces. You can already see it, this unit of handgunners, for example, is starting to break. And likewise over here, we have taken a few casualties with this graveguard unit. I can't remember why that was the case. It could be down to the enemy infantry, it could just be down to the enemy's ranged units. But, oh actually, the fact we do have some mortars dropping down here, that might explain it. Anyway, we're holding the line right here, and you can see the enemy's reinforcements are starting to get closer and closer. Again, I'm quite happy for the infantry to try and make their way up, and any of these outrider units that are getting closer are still going to get peppered thanks to my archers. I've already seen a lot of enemy horses dead because of this. Now in the meantime, of course, the gatehouse is still holding on, 64% damage, but it's doing okay. We also get some news in that some more ladders have docked over here. Now, I didn't get a notification saying about the enemy's general, this general of the Second Army that's made their way up, but we did get the information about the greatswords. Now luckily for me, my Graveguard are more than capable of taking on the Huntsman General, but they're going to find it tough against the greatswords for some reason. I wasn't entirely sure why either. In fact, I can use the opportunity now to check. Okay, Graveguard 26, 26, why? 44, 40... Okay, I can see why now. No matter. Anyway, I was trying to bring these guys in ready to try and hold the walls, figuring that with the greatswords coming up on the ladders, it might help a bit. But you can see they're just getting peppered now by the enemy's hellstorms. So, and the mortars as well. So, yeah, not the best situation to be in, but we're still trying. Over here now, you can see that I've pulled away that unit of Graveguard that was actually taking quite a few casualties and swapped it around. But I'm using them instead to try and go after enemy units that happen to be down here. Because, oh no, they haven't arrived quite yet. But you can see a couple of them have made their way off and they're wavering. But they're still able to move around, and I don't want them going after the capture point in the center. So, yeah, trying to keep an eye on that. We're also trying to hold the walls up here. We're still taking more and more damage, but we're also holding the enemy infantry back quite a bit, which is great news. Now, you can see over here that we've basically killed off all the knights as well, and I wanted to show as well, because our next target, if I just slow things down a minute to showcase, was going after the other enemy unit of demigryphs, which I can't see them, to be honest. Where have they gone to? There's this unit here of the knights, right? There's some crossbows. Huh. I definitely didn't kill them completely. There's 3 of them right here. There we are. Right. So that's 3 of them. There was another one somewhere with just 2 of them left. You know what? It really doesn't matter. The most important thing is we managed to kill a lot of them off, right? And that's going to be important because of this. Now that the enemy has basically committed all of their infantry, well, you know, melee infantry, to the walls, I took the opportunity, since we now got rid of the enemy's cavalry units, to go after all of these ranged units in front of me. So we've got the peasant archers here, the mounted peasant archers, trying to sweep around and avoid the enemy's infantry and everything else. Because I wanted these guys to go after the Hellstorm rocket batteries in the back. Now I am trying to be careful, they are getting shot at by a couple of units, and you can see that, I think this was, I can't remember, is this Soulfire it's called? It's an ability anyway, a battle prayer that Volkmar can use. But luckily I was able to avoid it with a fair few of the troops, and we managed to sidestep some of the enemy's crossbowmen to go after the Hellstorm rocket batteries in the back. While that's going on though, you can see we're just charging in with my knights, and we're causing absolute devastation. We are heavily outnumbered, but that's not going to be an issue. Now, the slight mistake I did do in this is that I didn't focus really on going after the mortars, because I figured we can still hold on a little bit. Unfortunately, we get the news though that the gates have been destroyed. So that's relatively okay, because we've got my cavalry going after all the enemy ranged units at this point. But you can see Volkmar has taken the initiative to actually make his way towards the gates. Now, I figured we'll try and deal with that. So not only have I got troops making their way over here because of that, but these are also the Graveguard that were trying to fight off the Greatswords, who I can't... Oh, whereabouts are they? Here. So, because we've managed to, well, destroy all the enemy's heavy cavalry, I decided to focus my trebuchet unit on the Greatswords right here. And basically, I want to try and hold the position because, well, these guys weren't doing too well against them, so I wanted to try and pull them back, make sure they can try and defend my trebuchet crew. While that's going on as well, I've got my unit of bowmen here that I've used up all their arrows, just trying to take the opportunity to track down any units like this handgunners regiment that's managed to make its way behind the walls and, well, stop running away. So that's what they're going to be doing. Unfortunately for part of the battle, we're going to see this unit of halberdiers slowly making his way towards the courtyard, but I managed to catch him just in time. You can see here he is riding his battle shrine. I'm going to call it that, battle shrine. But he is getting shot at by the enemy towers, but the problem with Volkmar is not only is he heavily armoured, but he also has, thanks to the Jade Griffin, regeneration, which is going to prove itself to be a real pain in the butt later on, as you will see. In the meantime though, looking back here, you can see just how much devastation that the Black Knights have caused. We've got units running away across the map. I'm making sure as soon as one of them's running away, that I focus on another unit. Occasionally we get to them, like this unit here, for example, was running away at one point, and this one here. But they are coming back, but as soon as that happens, we've got some more Black Knights to charge in and deal with them. Now, the one that was going to be the most annoyance to deal with is actually the War Wagons, just because while they're not so good in combat, they are pretty good with armor and stuff like that, so I was making sure to try and kill them off quickly enough, but they're going to make their way off the battlefield, unfortunately. Now, at this point, we've basically killed off or driven off all the enemy's infantry, so what I've decided to do, if you head back here a minute, is I brought one unit of Black Knights back, basically to try and help out over here. So I'm still going to send them first of all after the Huntsman General. But over here, we've got the first of our melees. So Volkmar's already charged in. He's already killed 61 of my units so far. Although to be fair, he's fighting a combination of, well, Graveguard, and I believe a unit of bowmen at this point. Because I think the second unit I had... Oh no, they haven't made it off yet, but you can see they're making their way over to join in the melee. Because I need to make sure they stay here. I don't want them going off too far, you know? So, while that's going on, what I've also started to do is move as much of my Graveguard away from the walls. I figured if we can get the enemy's troops onto the ground, when we bring our cavalry back, which you can see will slowly start making their way over now that most of the enemy has retreated. You can see the unit here, for example, making its way. Although unfortunately, thanks to the enemy capturing some of the towers here and there, it does mean we're going to take some friendly fire from our own towers, but that's okay. It's one of those things. Now, for whatever reason, we actually were able to defeat these units quite quickly here on the ground, whereas up on the walls, they were still fighting quite a bit and doing some casualties. But the main thing is trying to deal with these two situations. So we got other enemy infantry that have made it past those Graveguard coming into here. And we've got Volkmar being pinned in place by a combination of Graveguard and my bowman. Now, just to half it over, at this point he's killed 115 of my troops. Now, just to help things out a bit, we did kill off the Huntsman General that was leading the second army, so I'm quite happy with that. And what I managed to do with my bowmen is allow them to basically hold Volkmar in place. So I can send off a couple of units whose job was to go after the halberdiers. Now, to help that out, what I've also ended up doing was my unit of bowmen over here, I've brought them in, as well as another unit of Graveguard. And I think eventually, my trebuchet crew actually run out of ammunition. So what I will end up doing, once they use it up, there we are, is I'll sit them around for a minute before letting them drop their trebuchets. And I basically decide they're not going to really be able to do much in this initial part of the battle, so I'm going to get them to run into the centre to basically try and help defend the courtyard if needed. So that's what they're off to. If we look over here now, you can see the enemy units that were fighting my Graveguard are now getting attacked by the Black Knights. They're doing a good enough job that we're going to see them run away fairly quick. I mean, you can see them already starting to waver already, which is good news. We do have a couple units here and there, like the Huntsman over there, for example. And I do have, for example, the Mounted Peasant Archers just coming over here to chase down any of the enemy infantry that are running away, just in case they get enough leadership and start coming back. Like this unit here, for example. But with my Peasant Archers just firing away, we're going to be able to eventually drive them off. And if I hover over here, you can see exactly what we've got left. We still outnumber the enemy over 2-1. But is that going to be enough to fight Volkmar, who, if I hover over here, has not even lost much in the way of health yet, because of his ability to regenerate. So if I actually... Can I click on you a second and showcase? No? Basically, he's got a lot of health to him, right? And he's going to regenerate doing this. So, once we've now dealt with the situation here with the infantry, all I can really do at this point is basically swamp Volkmar with all of my units. Right, we are trying to help out here and there with other stuff, like I've got this unit of knights just going after the huntsman here. And if I have her back over here a minute, you can see we managed to catch up with our halberdiers unit and surround them. So they're about to waver any moment. Thank you. And I believe at this point, we've managed to kill off the entire enemy force, or get them to shatter. All with the exception... Oh, this one's about to do it in a minute. But... even after we've done all of that, right, we're still only going to have one man left to deal with, and that's Volkmar, because he is unbreakable. Now, despite the fact there's only one of him, and how many at this point? 514 of us, right? You can see the bounce bar is still fairly balanced between us. And the reason, like I said, is because of his regeneration. Now, I am swamping him with every unit at my command, because... this is the point where we either make or break this battle. And so I'm sending them in, and he's just slaughtering them. I mean, look at this, 240 kills so far, and his health is continuing to regenerate. Now, it's unfortunate, in fact, that I can't really showcase what, you know, is actually going on with it, but look at it. I mean, he's doing a good job, don't get me wrong. We've got that priest in the back here, and there's Volkmar himself. Jade Griffin on his chest. Riding the... I'm going to call it the Grand Shrine, because I know it's got a proper name, but I can't remember what it is right now. But yeah, it's just surrounded by the undead, and he's still fighting strong. Jesus. Now at this point I think it's actually going to carry on for like another 5 minutes, so I'm going to skip forward a little bit to where we're near the end of the battle. Well, here we are, guys, about 7 minutes later, if I got my timing right, and it's only just about now that we've managed to get enough damage in to drive him down to the point of losing this much health. Now, bearing in mind, like, I think he has a regeneration like 6,000 or 5,000 health, so... yeah, it's taken a long time to get to this point. And you can see his kill count right now is 587. And he's still going to get a few more casualties in before he ends up dying. Now, just to show off, we've now only got 68 troops left. If you remember, we started the fight against him with something like 520, 540, something like that. Yeah, he's just slaughtered all of my troops. I was such relieved when I was getting to this point, and to be honest with you, I was even concerned at this point that he might just win. Because, well, let me speed it up again just to show you. Because, again, my numbers are getting lower and lower and lower. There's 61 troops right now. What was causing the problem was a combination of his battle press. I mean, luckily for me, he didn't use Grand Soulfire. But all the other ones, reducing his damage and increasing his melee attack, just all added up. And, yeah, 596 now, and finally, he ends up getting killed, falls off the horse, and there you go. A Pyrrhic victory. It has cost me dearly in this fight. And just to show, I mean, look at the pile of bodies here that belong to me. There's only like 60 of us left in the entire garrison. Now, luckily for me, though, for whatever way the game decides it, we did get the dead ways again at the end, well, back on the campaign map. So we will get some units back. But yeah, this has been a bloody fight. We have come very close, thanks to Volkmar, to absolute defeat. But Knight's Pass holds yet again. So let's go back to the campaign map, guys. Oh my god. I am so glad that battle was over. And the worst thing is, I'm thinking about it. One, I'm going to have to watch the entire battle again to get the recording for the battle for the episode. And two, I actually can't remember if I actually saved the replay. Oh god, I hope I did. But anyway, we won in the end, and it came very, very close. All thanks to Volkmar. If you would have saw during the replay exactly how I ended up having to fight him, because that was the only thing we had left. And even then, we came down, I believe, to 67 people left, or something like that. He managed to slaughter nearly the entire surviving garrison, despite us killing everybody else. It was thanks to him we nearly lost that fight. But anyway, I think it'd be a good idea for me to get some replenishment from this. So let's do that. Knight's Pass once more is held. But at what cost? Oh god, not another army. No. Oh. Oh no. I don't think I can even fight that battle. Now, I said that last time, admittedly. But come on, with what they've got, they can just wipe my garrison out before they even step foot into the gates, thanks to the hellstorms and the mortars. And I would presume that since the gates got destroyed in the previous battle, that they will be the same for this. No, there's no way. I'm gonna have to auto-resolve this. Oh, damn it. Decisive defeat. We only killed 38 of them this time. Poor Matthias. Your name will be remembered. In fact, I'm going to get a pen. Because I'm going to have it that he might have died again in this fight. Right? Service in the Vampire Count Army does not end in death. Okay? So, Matthias Le Younger, I'll probably, again, butcher pronunciation, but you are going to be returned, my friend, in one form or another. I can guarantee that. Right, anyway, let's accept the loss. But hey, we managed to wipe out practically 2 full stacks right there for some very, very tough troops. If that hasn't weakened Whiteland, I honestly don't know what will, you know? Oh dear. So we got another declaration of war. This time now the game has done it properly by actually informing me. But most annoyingly, it's going to drag Stirland and Solent into it. So we may have to put the plans on hold with William heading up towards Ostenmark, as the surrounding area is going to be, well, hostile to us. If I'm lucky, what I might be able to do with William's army is move him down to Schwarzhaven, so we can take that. I mean, mainly just so we can get a bit more territory, but also then we can make our way straight through and then into Sylvania. But, let's have a look. Yeah. Wait a minute. I noticed that on the corner as well, that we have low reliability. We had a similar problem, actually, in the Pestilence campaign I'm doing, because if you remember, and for those who've watched it, we had in that campaign Lockyer Felhart basically breaking our defensive alliance and just attacking me. Yet, we also suffered reliability hits because of that. And it seems to be the case in this campaign as well, that we had the Bower Legion. I was going to say Broken Legion, that's a different thing. The Bower Legion as a defensive ally, they broke the alliance, and yet I'm the one who's taken the diplomatic repercussions. Figure that out, eh? Anyway, guys, after that battle, I'm going to leave it here for today. So, we'll skip through all of these. Ooh, we picked a Dishonored Knights, that's something. Extra weapon strength and armor, and this one's going to reduce upkeep. Now, given that we've got some expensive cavalry units like the Knights of the Black Grail, that will help things out quite a bit. Builder for Malabad, okay, Bordelot, Baston, right. Vlad is now available. Okay, so yeah, next episode. We're going to have to sort out the situation basically over this side with Sylvania, because we're going to have Stirland coming to attack us and more than likely Solent at some point. We do have a bit of an opportunity because we've got, well, William at a full stack. So we can we can actually deal some damage to these guys. Like Fort Obensteyer is, a minor settlement, hasn't got walls. So we can go after that Schwarzhaven and make our way back into territory. Or even just go on a rampage, take Avenheim, stuff like that. We can also then have to be prepared for dealing with Vigilant. And how is the Empire looking after that? They are not as strong as we are. Still not willing to do peace. Right, good to know. But yeah, let's leave it here for today. So guys, thank you for watching today's episode. I hope you enjoyed, and that you do join me next time for some more Warhammer. But until then, everybody, take care, stay safe, and goodbye for now.